Hey everyone. Hi everyone. Good afternoon. We are at we are at the 15th of June. Happy Saturday, everyone. It's so great to be back with you this week. Hopefully, everyone had a great week and we can cap it off with a good discussion today. So, firstly, I just wanted to say hello to all the viewers. We're steadily growing. Tamika Lane and I are just so happy to see that there are so much love provided to Revive and Thrive, and we appreciate each and every one of y'all. We're nearing 700 subscribers, so we really appreciate it. So continue with the love, and we appreciate the constant love and appreciation. We are streaming live on Facebook on our personal pages as well as our business page, Fly High NYC. We are streaming live on IG. We love you, IG folks. We're on our personal IG pages as well as Fly High NYC's business page. But just like we say every week, we love you and we appreciate you, IG. But unfortunately, we cannot view your comments until after the broadcast. So we do look at them. And if there's something that we need to respond to, we do that then. However, if you want to participate live, head over to Facebook or YouTube. We also streaming live on YouTube as well. It's a wonderful experience. We get a lot of good feedback regarding the experience on YouTube, and we can see your comments in real time. So before we move forward, let's go ahead with introductions. Hello, everyone. I'm your co-host, KG.
And I'm Tamika Elaine. Happy Saturday, everyone.
Happy Saturday. So we wanted to have a discussion today because a lot of people, especially in our age group, Tamika and Lane, we're dealing with, what's what people say, you're twice a baby, once an
Once a
adult.
man, twice a child.
Yes, there it goes. So we are at that age where we're taken care of. If we're so blessed to have our parents with us, we're taking care of elderly parents, even though, we look wonderful. We're becoming that age where a lot of our parents are now in the elderly status. There are classified senior citizens. So I'm so sorry. I got a message. So we all, collectively, if we are, happen to have our parents with us, we are experiencing, dealing, and navigating how to care for our elderly parents. So today we're just going to have a discussion how we go about that. And if you want to chime in, the people out there can also provide some of their instances or situations of how they navigate this issue. And then we can talk about some possible solutions. But I kind of want to open it up because, Tamika and Lane and I, we both have, she has a mom that, she's taken care of, and I would love to hear your take on that. And I also have elderly parents. One of them fortunately needs constant care, and I have an older brother, and my parents live in a situation where they're with my brother and his family, even though my mom is the primary person who takes care of my dad. But having a close sibling there just as a backup, we're at that stage now. So I'm wondering, Tamika, like you deal with this every single day, so how does this impact you personally, like emotionally and things like that? And what's a typical day for you?
Um, I guess as far as personally, I mean, I equate it to at least having a child. Like she's like my child. I have to do the typical things that you have to do. In terms of making sure that all of her needs are met, taking care of her. But, I have help, a staff that takes care of her. So I'm fortunate enough to have a team of people that can assist. So at this point in time, I'm more so just making sure that everything is good and everything's running, of course, according to schedule and, managing appointments and things like that. I mean, I think over the course of time, it really depends on, I guess, what challenges, maybe your parents are dealing with, how much they can't do for themselves,
Yeah,
that's gonna determine maybe the impact on you as the child, in the family, and what maybe you may need to do. And like you said, KJ, you have a sibling, so
yeah,
I'm an only child, so it's a little different. Though you and your sibling don't live in the same state, and now your
no,
parents are there, but they were with you before. So now kind of there's a
yeah,
shift in terms of who's the
yeah,
more active child in terms of their care. But and I don't even like to look at it as elderly. I like to look at it as like aging, because it's like
yeah.
what defines elderly. Once you're a senior at what, 62, and that's
I
pretty
think,
young or something like that.
yeah, that's true.
So I don't like to look at it. I don't know. I don't, as parents age, and I know people who are, in their 60s or even younger, that have ailments, that just have an impact on their lives. And yes, it does affect whether they have a spouse or not, or their children or what have you. So I think the gist of it is more than like elderly or aging, just anyone who may have some type of condition that limits their ability to take care of themselves, and what that does with to the family.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just think of it from, I just can't believe we're at this stage because one, I can't believe we at this age that we are, to be honest. It's like we blink. I can still remember us like in college and, parents, and, were steadily viable, active and everything else working. And now it's like we blink and wow. So that in itself, I mean, I wonder how it affects you emotionally, Tamika Lane, but I admit, sometimes it's so hard to grapple or just like grasp that that change of life, but I know it's a blessing to see that. I mean, we're still here, but it's just so hard knowing how, at least for me, I still see my parents so active, and when I was younger, and then now they are how they are now. It's just that in itself is kind of hard for me to grasp, but just take it day by day.
I think that's, yeah, for anyone who sees their parent or loved one, a complete shift, a complete 180 in their, maybe mobility,
Yeah.
their cognitive ability. Like, yeah, it's going to be hard to accept that change or transition, and just be able to, kind of move along with how they are in their present state. But it's important to do that. Were you going to read the post? Because I can read it, kind of how we got to this conversation.
Yeah, go ahead and read it if you have
Okay.
it steadily.
I just pulled it up. So the reason why we kind of decided to talk about this topic, there's this Facebook caregiver support group, and it came across a topic, that was, I guess, more specific to the impact of, I guess, children's role in this. And most people seem to be along the same page of, they wouldn't want their children to have to basically endure this responsibility. A lot of times your parents, I know my mama said it and my grandmother said it, they don't want to be a burden on us. And
Yeah.
sometimes it just ends up being that way. So um, it says, someone said to me the other day, I hope when I get older, my children take care of me the way that you take care of your mom. And I looked at them and said, no, you do not. You don't want your daughter or son to be stressing and worrying daily, working overtime and going broke, not able to have a full life. I don't have children, so I can't imagine having to divide my time between my mom and kids. So think of
Mhm.
that. Do you want your adult children to take time away from your grandchildren for you? You should hope to be healthy and live long. You want to prepare yourself for your own old age. Put money aside so that you can support yourself in your own old elder years. You don't want to be a financial burden on them, a mental toll on them, a strain on in their marriage, the reason they didn't go back to college or follow their dreams. because being a caregiver is a lot. It's not fun. It breeds resentment, and it's not something you wish on any of your children. Prepare yourself for your elderly years now, savings, life insurance, pension, investments, etc., so that you can afford to have a paid caregiver or have an assisted living home that can fully care for you if you need be. Do not wish this upon your children. So, that was what would kind of like spark this. And I know you have your own thoughts about this, knowing that you're a mom, you have your son,
Yeah.
and kind of what are your thoughts, and how are you, I guess, what are your thoughts, and what are you doing to ensure that you, if the case may be, would
Yeah.
not kind of put that strain on your son?
Yeah, I agree with the person who posted. I wouldn't want to be a burden. As of right now and how it's looking, it looks like I only will have one child. And I wouldn't want to be a burden on my son, because especially if it's the kind of man and I mean little guy to a man that I'm raising, you
Yeah.
know, I'm hoping that that he will find something he loves to do, be passionate about it, do well in it, be extremely successful, financially stable, be able to do whatever he wants, travel, just have fun until he finds someone that he really wants to, have a family with, marry, and so on and so forth. So by this time, I'm hoping, I'm still here and still viable. But if he has a family, he has a, wife and children, and if he's, already the man I'm raising, he's handling the majority of the financial burden, and I don't want to add on to that. I don't think it's fair. Yes, I'm his mother and I'm doing this. I'm raising him, and Lord knows it's expensive as heck, but he didn't ask to be here. So whatever life he chose to develop for himself, I just wouldn't want to, like, hey, I'm sick. Take, like take me in. I mean, I hope it's, so I wouldn't want him to even think about that. So I am putting different things in place that he's taken care of, but I got to do some more stuff for me, like making sure that, because I want to say that I'm going to live a long time, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to take care of myself. But you can't just say hoping that it'll
Right.
happen.
You
Things
never know.
happen.
You never know. Yeah.
You never
I mean,
know.
you at least are taking steps. I mean, you're very mindful of your diet, you exercise, because that it starts with that, right? Good health,
Yeah.
right? So things that you can
Yeah.
control, you're working towards controlling that to set yourself up to potentially be in the best, shape and health as you age.
Yeah, yeah, but anything can happen. A stressful moment can just, or whatever, or you in the car, and like you take away your ability to work like this, and so
Hmm.
it's just such a hard balance. But no, I definitely wouldn't want to, and like, because I feel like his life will stop, like or it'll be harder for him to live his life. Like, what happens if he's still single and he wants to go out on dates, and oh, you gotta take care of me, and I just would
Well,
hate
that's when
that.
he gets help. Just like the post says, what you need to do is make sure you can be able to, there's enough money to hire
Yeah,
help, right? So that is
exactly.
kind of where it starts. Even
Yeah,
like having those, you as a mom should, and I think you already have, like speaking to some type of a state attorney to
yeah,
understand, like, what you should do with your assets and things. And,
yes.
there's certain strategies that people utilize to make sure that they can qualify for, like, government assistance, community
Oh,
Medicaid
true.
and things like that. So some people don't want to go down that route. You work and you save all this money. I mean, in theory, you hope that you don't have to use the money all on, taking care of yourself and things like that. But if
Yeah,
you have it, it's a blessing to be able to do it, so it doesn't
yeah.
put a strain on your children and their potential families.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I mean, I just don't think a lot of people may be educated to like all of the resources that they may have, that can help them in that situation. Because I know you mentioned this is like one of your passions, maybe being able to consult with different families and give them, solutions. And yeah, I mean, see, this is a good business to jump into because I don't think a lot of people are, they just let life happen sometimes. They don't really do the planning or they don't want to think about it because it's something a lot of people don't want to think about.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it's like life insurance. You take out policies because you want to make sure that, your kids have the resources to take care of you. It's not something you want to think about dying, but you have to do that.
yeah, yeah, girly. But yeah, it's just, yeah, what? It's just so hard thinking about it's with me personally, and I need to get over it. Anything that it's like hard to deal with, I may like, okay, let me ignore this a little bit more. But I think it
Oh,
just
you're
makes
not
it,
alone.
yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people do.
I mean,
And then they're caught off guard. Hmm.
they caught off guard. So, I mean, were there things that are already in place when you had to step into that role? Oh, so
No,
you,
I mean, my mom was good with her money, so I mean, yeah, there
yeah,
was, you know, some money, but yeah, no, not anything that was in place. I was just able to put the things in place that I needed. I feel like I was blessed. God put people in my life and put
yeah,
me in a certain direction to be able to navigate these things and figure out a solution that worked for me. But everybody's circumstance is different, and everyone is going to utilize a different strategy that works for their unit. I mean, my mom always used to say she didn't want me to put her in a nursing home. Like most parents will say, I don't want to
oh,
be in a nursing home, right? And I don't know. I never wanted to either, right? So, and then thinking about my grandmother, because it started from her, my grandmother, she lived till she was basically 100, right? She was in
yeah,
relatively good health. She, maybe in her late 90s, she had more issues with her mobility. So we had somebody, just paid somebody to take care of her. So I didn't have to do too much with her. I mean, I still helped take care of her, but it wasn't as intensive as say with my mom. But I would never think my grandmother's the reason why I'm in the house I'm in. Like I would never, ever, ever, ever think about putting her some like that. That wouldn't even be a thought for me. And the same as with my mom. It's not like I can't do it. So I don't know. I kind of grapple with it from the vantage of, well, I'm a single child, say only child, and I'm single. So I'm like, yeah, who is going to take care of me? Like I once I have a child or a spouse or somebody who could make sure that I'm good, who could be my advocate. Because when you see these people in the hospital or nursing homes with
they don't,
nobody, yeah, it's like they are just,
they don't care.
they're yeah, they don't care. So while I don't
Goodness.
necessarily need my child to be as hands-on as maybe I am, and when my grandmother, when I was taking care of her, that was the first time I was like, oh, maybe I should get some long-term care insurance,
Yeah,
just in case. So that's one thing that is top of mind for me, just to make sure I have just something that's going to cover me should I get to that point where I can't complete certain daily, activities or what have you. But yeah, I just often wonder like who would take care. My grandmother asked me that too. She's like, who's going to take care of you? And I'm like,
that's a great
I don't
point.
know. I'm just praying that, I will be healthy and yeah, so it's something I think about a lot, but what can I do but continue to live my life and
But we're
you
so
know.
young, Tamika. Like you making it seem
But just like
like
you just said
yeah,
earlier,
I
you could be in
know,
a
I
car and
know.
something
Damn
happen.
it,
Like you don't know.
you don't
So
know.
yeah, but I think about it. I'm hopeful that somebody will arise. The agent that sold me my the long term care insurance, she was like, somebody will like present themselves because she was actually the accountant that we use for our taxes.
Uh
It was
huh.
surprising to me. She told me that she was like kind of his agent, so to speak. Like she took care of his affairs and things. And they weren't related, because
Oh,
sometimes you think about like, who in my family can I designate to do certain things, but they weren't related. But I don't know what, how they met or whatever, but she was the person who handle his affairs. And I'm like, okay, that helped me to think like, yeah, maybe it could be someone that I meet in life that becomes that person for me. Who knows? I don't know. But
Yeah,
yeah, making sure you got your proxies. I do have that with my healthcare
yes,
proxies and
the
things.
proxies and everything in order.
Yeah, my powers of attorney, like
Yeah,
these
me
things
too.
I think about because I know how important they were and me being able to take care of things for my mom. So I
Yeah,
think about having all that stuff in place for myself just in case.
yeah, that is. Oh my God, that is a good point, though. Just making sure you have all this, because I mean, even though I have Caden, I mean, he's my child. But I think about like, ooh, if I never get married or whatever else. Yeah, so I should have more of a structure in place too for myself. 'Cause God forbid if he's still a child and I get sick, I mean, he can't do anything for me. So wow. But we have a comment from Sherm. The best health insurance I have is my lifestyle, eating, and fitness habits. Well, yeah, we know that, sure, but God forbid something else happen. You walking out in the street and
Yeah.
a bus come in and and you live, but now you like in a
Right.
situation like so. Yeah, we can't just rely that we taking care of ourselves. And there's plenty of people who do take care of themselves. At least they say, and they work out
Yeah.
and they eat relatively right, and then they still fall sick. You know, I
Yeah. It's not
mean,
100, it's not fail proof. Yeah.
it really isn't. I mean, my dad is a great example. This man, I don't know, he ran over, I would say like over 10 marathons. I mean, the marathon route used to run right by my residence in Clinton Hill. And I remember cheering on my dad like every year. And yeah, and he had it's like after he retired, he just slowed down and he got a stroke. And it's just like, I would
Yeah.
never in my wildest dreams, the way this man exercised and used to get on my mama for cooking certain foods. And my mama's family's from the down south, and my dad is Jamaican, but my mama would make like pork chops and stuff. And my dad, oh, no pork or no meat. I mean, just so, and then he's the one that get a stroke. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And not
So
your mom, right?
not
Like,
my mom. And my mom, I mean, I don't want to be put a bit. I mean, she
yeah.
does the cigarettes and she's, it's just crazy. Like she does,
And then she's the one taking care of him. And so that's the thing. It's not
exactly.
even, Asian parents, it's spouses. You just don't know what's going to happen in life and where you're going to have to step into
Yes.
that role and take care of someone. And hopefully we are all just putting certain measures in place to take to relieve that financial strain. The emotional toll is going to be there. The mental toll is going to be there because, sometimes these folks aren't the most pleasant to help.
Yeah. But you brought up a great point in terms of like ways to make sure that you're prepared. Having long-term care insurance in place, I think, is crucial. Even outside, getting something outside of your job, because sometimes a
Yeah.
lot of jobs provide you with even life insurance and stuff like that. I definitely think that is, yeah, you do that, but you also have some other insurance in place
Yeah,
as
I
well.
had gotten my first policy with my job, and then when I left,
Oh,
I didn't continue it for whatever reason.
yeah.
I wish I would have continued that one, to be honest, because I was
Oh,
younger
really?
and things, and I would
Oh,
have had more accumulated and
oh,
whatnot. But
do that. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah, but I stopped. I didn't, whatever, for whatever reason. But I got a new policy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but
that's a
that
great
is so
point.
true. Mm-hmm.
But I was just thinking as well, and for people who are going through the caregiving and, like it seemed like you're a part of the group, a Facebook group, maybe being in community with other people that are doing or going through the same things like you can also be a helpful way that you can lean on someone or get ideas on how to navigate certain issues. So those are some possible solutions. So being
Yeah.
prepared, having the right insurance
Support
in
groups are
place.
definitely. I have a friend who's taking care of his aunt, and he utilized support groups. that
Wow.
definitely helps him in terms of like managing and coping. I never did. I always looked into it. I never quite got there. But I use my friends.
Yeah.
My friends have been a good support because it's been a journey. It's been I was since like 7 years now since I've been in this state. It's I'm able to do more now. I'm able to travel and go out and things since I have the care 24 hours. So it's much better. But yeah, it is a journey, and it can really be like, oh my gosh, why me? But even in those why me moments, like I have such a different relationship with my mom that I didn't have prior to this. We weren't really close and things like that, but
Oh,
now it's shifted. And like I said, I feel like she's my baby. She even looks at me like her sister or her mom or whatever. Like, so
oh,
there's a different relationship that I'm grateful for. And if I don't have my own children, maybe this is how I was supposed to mother, so to speak. I don't know, but it's where I am. And yeah, I don't regret any decision that I made with this. I couldn't see myself doing otherwise, but I don't, frown upon anyone else who goes a different route. I have a friend who just put her mom in some type of senior,
wow.
living facility, but she's
Whew.
married with kids, and it was like a lot. You know how these kids are. You have one child, she has two. The amount of activities you're juggling, and then your own career, like it just became too much. So you really have to do what's
Oh,
best for you.
yeah, it's a hard decision, and I wouldn't fault like if I'm in a situation where I don't have a husband, or if maybe by that time my husband may not be here, and it's just my son, and he got his family. He gonna be like, "Look, mom, kick you to the old person home.
As long as he's
Need to
coming to
be
visit you and check on you and manage your care, make sure you're good. That's the thing. It's not, don't
I
forget
hope
about you, which
so.
he wouldn't forget about you.
I hope not. To like in the hole, because I better make some friends here. And I don't know when my son go. I mean, hopefully he'll come visit his mama. But I just, Lord, yeah. But I'm with Sherm. I'm hoping, Sherm, that this lifestyle can really, get us to. Cause I would love to see what the 100-year mark would be, and how this world would be at this point, and still be not like totally dependent on anyone. That would be awesome. But I wouldn't want to be around if I'm just sick and whatever. But
Right.
that's another.
Just taking a look, popping over to my IG. Janelle says it's more so chronic issues that come along, not necessarily being elderly. And Tasha said, my mom, God rest her soul, always said, you make the child, but you don't make their mind. You don't. You
Oh,
just don't know. You never know if your child is even going to take care of you, too. Um,
that nope. Damn, that's a whole nother pack of work. Oh, I just know some people with some children. They like, wow, that can't believe you put all this time, money, energy, and then they just grow and they just don't care about you. Oh gosh. Oh God. Yeah. But yeah. Well, yeah. That's true. You can't even depend on your children to take care of you if you need them.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I had siblings, but then I hear stories about when there are siblings and then they disagree on certain things. So it's like,
Yeah.
if you have siblings, you kind of have to be aligned, and then sometimes the burden still falls more on one than the other, and there could be some resentment there. So I don't know. It's you kind of just have to deal with the situation, the circumstances that you have, and make the most of it or make the best of it. Just figure out what strategies to take.
Yeah. Okay. I'm also looking on Instagram. Okay. Hello. Mike says hello. We got another comment from Sherm. I plan to be out here at the gym at 100 years old. That's a great plan, Sherm.
Yeah, so we hope that you will be.
Showing out.
I know, I know.
Well, this has been a cool conversation. Hopefully, if you haven't started thinking about it, because we're just, suspecting a lot of people who are watching around the age group. So maybe at least get you to start thinking, start planning. Hey, Laverne. Hey, sister. And just, putting some things in place so that it will not be such a tumultuous situation when you do reach a certain age. So, like some of the things that we talked about, having appropriate insurance in place, having maybe support groups in place as well for you to be able to access some of the resources.
Yeah.
And, it's all
Consulting
about
estate attorneys if you have
estate attorney.
assets that you need to make sure things are kind of bequeathed as they should be, or in the proper investment vehicles.
Oh yes, yes. The trust together and all of that. All of this is important, people. At least start the conversations now when you are in sound body and mind, and then you work, and then it's a living document. Whatever you do, you may be able to revise it, as you go along. So don't worry, whatever you choose to do now, you should be able to revise as you go along, as different circumstances happen. Like, we're both single now, but then maybe a year from now we'll both be married, girl. And then you may have the baby bump. So things. So putting it out there to the universe. But yeah,
Mhm.
so with that, we understand this is a balancing act, being able to, navigate taking care of someone, and then you have to take care of yourself as
Yourself.
well as your immediate family. So one of the way you can balance yourself and take care of yourself and just treat yourself, I have to bring that full circle.
Yes, you did. That was excellent.
We offer some fantastic packages which will allow you just to be treated just like the star and queen that you are, or king, if that's your thing. We provide awesome photo shoot experiences where you can be wearing a flying dress and just looking fabulous while having the great New York City as your backdrop. So you can utilize that time just to be treated and breathe, we will breathe all sorts of love and life into you. So that could be your me time, and before you go back to whatever your normal
Right.
may be. That period of time with Fly High and Glam Escape experience can just be all about you, and it can fulfill you and make you whole. So if you're interested in embarking in an experience just like this, if you're on Facebook as well as YouTube, the links are up above within the description of the live. And as well in IG, you can go ahead and just DM us, and we will be able to provide you the information. The information should be within our personal pages as well as our business page as well, in the bio field. But thank you all for joining in.
Yes, and before we leave, we just want to let you know about a change in our schedule. So we won't be
Yes,
here next week. We're taking more of like a summer schedule. I'll say that.
yes,
So we'll be with you about twice a month, more so every other week. So we'll see you at the end of this month.
yes, everyone. It's been great. Thank you all, and have a wonderful Saturday. If you're in New York,
Yes, and
enjoy
happy
the weather.
Father's Day to all the
Happy
dads.
Father's
Yes, Father's Day
Day!
weekend.
Happy
Hopefully
Daddy's
you
Day,
guys,
everyone.
yes.
Everybody keeps saying that, oh, we don't give the Father some love. Well, we're giving y'all love. We appreciate you. We value you. You're, part of the reason why I'm sure your children are flourishing. You are the man. See, I'm giving y'all love. I'm breathing it into you. And as well
Hopefully
as
you
a
guys
pretty happy Juneteenth.
Yes, hopefully you guys actually do some self-care. It's not just for us. Hopefully you guys
Yeah,
do something for yourself and try to get that other, balance things out and just take some time for yourself doing something you love. So enjoy
exactly.
everyone. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye.
Bye.